This segment is the fastest segment on television. It's our hashtag rapid fire round, and we reserve this segment each evening to zip through as many trending topics as we possibly can with our expert guest. And tonight, that expert guest is the proprietor of ReaganBaby.com. That is Megan Barth. Megan, good to see you.
Good to see you. Welcome back.
Good to know you're there, and can't wait to see you at the next big event. We ran into each other and had some up close and personal time. That always makes it so much more fun than, just to kind of personalize the relationship. I enjoyed it so much. Now, first up, Megan, billionaire convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein trending today. His good buddy, accused sex offender Bill Clinton, reportedly flew on Epstein's private jet, nicknamed the Lolita Express. At least 26 times he flew on that jet. Megan, this story is not going to help the Clinton campaign exactly, now is it?
No, and I wrote about this back in April, and it was called The Progressive Prey and the Rape of Feminism. And Bill Clinton flew on that plane 26 times, 5 times without Secret Service agents. I'm sure that he and the pedophile weren't discussing or trying to solve world peace or global warming. Especially this flight, the Lolita Express, had a bed on it, and on that bed were commissioned young girls. And on all of these flights, I actually have a friend who knows Jeffrey Epstein, and he referred to the plane not as Lolita Express, but he said, Megan, everybody in New York knew it was called Air F1, and it's not Air Fire Truck 1, it's Air F exclamation point 1. And so we can assume that Bill was probably doing some dastardly deeds, much as he did all throughout his presidency and before in his governorship, when he was sexually harassing, raping, and abusing multiple women.
Yeah, nothing really new here, I suppose, but just sort of mind-boggling sometimes.
Just
All right.
High Club instead of, the Oval Office.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Jiffy Lube trending today. A California man says his car was totaled following a bad brake job from the Jiffy Lube in Bakersfield. He drove away after getting his brakes fixed, and the wheels fell off. Megan, how did they mess up that badly?
Well, I didn't know that Jiffy Lube did anything but oil changes, so this surprised me a little bit. But I guess they not only did an oil change, they did a tire change and maybe forgot to screw back on the lug nuts. So when they took the truck for a drive, it ended up smashing into a tree, running over a couple signs, and all 4 wheels flew off while the guy was in the waiting room.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that's never a good thing. This is just not a good way to start that whole thing. All right. Actress Blake Lively trending today after she posted a picture of herself in a gold dress at the Cannes Film Festival and quoted lyrics from the song Baby Got Back. Megan, why is this social media so upset about this?
Because we're raising a generation of young kids that need safe spaces from obviously music lyrics. And they also were saying something about white privilege, which seems to be a theme amongst millennials and Democrats. So yeah, they're an uproar because I guess there's no bigger things to talk about except for Blake Lively and her dress and how she might have a big booty.
Wow.
If that's a big booty, I want that booty.
You gotta really reach though to say that that's somehow like racist because she's using the word back just because she's white. That just the whole thing doesn't sink for me. But anyway.
Everything's racist, don't you know?
Everything is. Everything is, yes.
Yeah,
all right.
Trees are racist. I actually posted on this the other day.
Yeah. Well, there is a new Ben & Jerry's flavor. It's called Empowerment ice cream. And they usually have some kind of political reasoning behind their new flavors. Megan, what's this one about?
Even ice cream is fighting racism. So Ben & Jerry believes that the Supreme Court was wrong on the Voting Rights Act and that no one should have an ID to vote. Anyone that drives has to have an ID. Anyone that flies, cashes a check, buys cigarettes, alcohol, but not to vote. So Ben & Jerry's thought that they would take some fudge and some peppermint ice cream and whip it together, which I think is kind of actually, relative because they're fudging the truth. And so they've taken ice cream to a social justice place.
Wow. Well, creativity, I guess. All right. The list of most drunken cities in the United States was released today. 4 cities in Wisconsin occupied the top 4 spots on that list. Megan, I can't believe that California didn't make this, especially if Jason lives here.
Well, and I moved, so maybe that affected it. But I used to live in Illinois, and so I know Wisconsin, and I know the Wisconsin bar is pretty good. And I have to say, If I lived in Wisconsin between the mosquitoes and the blizzards, I would be drinking heavily too.
Yeah, I was gonna say the cold weather. You know, you gotta do something to stay warm, and then you catch more cold, so a little more hot toddy. It's okay. The math is making sense now. All right, a rapper named Waka Flocka Flame is trending today. He posted a Snapchat video of his niece locked in a dog cage. He's since made his Instagram page private after he got a lot of hate. Megan, what was going on there?
Well, I guess she was acting up, and so he put her in jail, which was the dog cage. And then he's like, well, if you will, start acting normal and act being a good girl, I'll bond you out.
I guess I'm not supposed to laugh at that point. That's not the point where I'm supposed to laugh, not at all. Oh my goodness.
I bet you any money that she won't act up again, because I wouldn't want to be stuck in a dog cage.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, my parents, my God, if there was social media around when I was being raised, they would probably be hauled off by the DHS.
I was just going to say, yeah, there were like broom closets back in the day when we didn't have dog crates. And yeah, that was a little more scary because it was dark. There was anyway, that's a whole other topic. Fast food chain McDonald's trending today. Let's just change that subject. They are testing fresh beef patties in 14 locations in the Dallas area. Megan, now, I know you're not a big fan of fast food, but would you think about going back to McDonald's if they started serving fresh beef instead of stuff that's been frozen for a year and a half?
There are two things that I absolutely adore, and those are cheeseburgers and
Oh,
pizza.
me too.
So
Me
yes,
too.
cheeseburgers and pizza. I don't care. I'll fly through a Mickey D's anytime and get a Happy Meal with the toy.
I am telling you, I could live on those two things for the rest of my life. And even though I love sushi, I could never have sushi again if I could just have cheeseburgers from McDonald's that made from their year-and-a-half-old frozen meat and pizza. I'm totally with you on that. So we have
So
that in
fresh
common
made
too.
burgers, I'm all there. I might fly to Dallas. Cheap flights.
There you go. All right, Megan Barth, thank you so much for being with us. Find her at Reagan_baby on Twitter and ReaganBaby.com on the net. Up next, we go to your social media comments. So stay right where you are. More American Trends coming at you right after this.